Hello, friends. Today's topic is tips and how much do you tip? Do you tip all the time? Let's rant.
I did not tip my server last night. Here's why. I'm a firm believer if you can afford to go out to eat, you can afford to tip. However, if the service sucks, you shouldn't be required to tip. I think for the longest time I would tip regardless of how they treated me. But now that I can barely afford to go out to eat, I'm not gonna pay extra for service that sucks. You know, I was a server for a while and I got screwed over time and time again, and I was good at my job. I was great with people. I always had their food out as soon as it was ready, and I would get screwed over all the time and I'd be really upset. There were those select few tables that, you know, sometimes I'd forget about because we were busy and stuff, and they wouldn't tip me as much, and I would not hold them against it. I know servers rely on tips for, like, you know, their money, because I know they get paid like half as much as everybody else does, but it's also your customers' money. If you don't treat them with respect, if you don't treat them like they're a top priority, they shouldn't have to pay you extra. And I think now that I've actually been a server and I know what to like look for, kind of hold people to a higher standard, because I'm like, you should be able to do that easy peasy. You should be able to fill my drinks when they're getting empty. You should be able to greet me within literally 30 seconds if there's nobody around. So last night, me and Aiden went to Buffalo Wild Wings. The first time we had horrible service, so we didn't really want to go back, but we had a gift card, so we went anyway. We ended up spending $20, and I had a $10 bill that I was ready to give up and ready to tip her with. I find myself lately going into sit-down restaurants and just being absolutely disappointed. These servers get away with just treating us like shit, and I'm not gonna be rewarding them by giving them money that I barely have myself. The server, she was nice, but she wasn't going like above and beyond to, you know, treat us like her top priority. This happened to us last time too. Our server isn't the one who brought out our food. We've been there for probably 30 minutes and we've only seen our server one time. Second of all, we didn't get silverware until 10 minutes after we already had our food, so we had like a bunch of like boneless wings sitting in front of us that we couldn't eat because we didn't have silverware. So by the time we got the silverware, our food was cold. And then, you know, wings are spicy, so you kind of chug your water, and you'd think you'd know that working at a wing restaurant. So me and Aiden just went without like water in our drinks for most of the time that we were there because she never refilled our drinks. My mouth was on fire. And it's like every time this happens, which it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I literally feel so guilty. But like, I shouldn't. Like, I literally go in my car convincing myself that like what I did was okay. But it's like, if you're a good server, you'll get good money. Like I said, we spent $20 there and I was gonna give her $10. And another thing, I feel like this is a pretty big controversial topic. I get heated myself. I genuinely think even if you do like the bare minimum as a server, just fill their drinks, give them their food, be with them, you get tipped. But if you only see your server once at the beginning and once at the end, why, you know? I wanted to tip the guy who brought out our food because he did more than what our server did. Okay, anyway, goodbye.
What's up, TikTok? We're back with a count my tips with me. So last night I had worked at the club. I was doing hosting last night. I was so motherfucking tired. I didn't get home till like 5 a.m. and I didn't do a money count. So we're gonna count the money. Last night Nelly came into the club, and when I tell you he was showing out, showing love, that man was showing out and showing love. That man threw $30,000 last night. So to the strippers, I'm jealous because I know they made money, but I made some money too. Now, majority of it did come from Nelly, thankfully. So last night was a really, really good night. He tipped me $500. So we're going to go ahead and count what I made last night. I am missing a couple of days of videos that I was supposed to count, like the grand opening. I just didn't make a lot of money the night of grand opening, so I didn't really do a video. That actually was a really bad night for me, surprisingly, and I was really mad, so I didn't make a video. So I have a couple of days, like 2 days worth of pay mixed in with last night's pay. But again, I didn't make a lot the last couple of days. If anything, it was like $100 maybe max. I was doing cocktail waitressing the last couple of days, and it was really, really slow throughout the week. So my pay just was mainly on my hourly. So that's also why I didn't do a tip video. But baby, last night we made some money. So let's go ahead and count some money. I already separated it, so it's easier to count. So let's get to it. Okay, y'all, so I counted the money and I have $900. That's actually really good for a Saturday night. That's the most I've made so far throughout this week. I've only worked 4 days this week. So that added to the other couple of monies that I had in the last video. I have to add it up. I will say this has been a really good week for me. It's the first of the month, so it's actually really good and very helpful for me because my other job, my dispensary job, I was just getting like, regular pay. But $900 in one night? Baby, I'm about to go to work tonight. Nah, I'm off tonight, but the next time that I do go to work, I think it's this upcoming Tuesday or Wednesday, one of these days. But that'll be the start of the new week. So from last night's pay and the other couple of nights' pay, I want to say that my total is around $1,300. So again, it's not too bad for my first week. I should be a little bit more consistent. I'm going to try to see again how next week works because this week was the first week of grand opening. So it still have been pretty slow throughout the days since grand opening. So hopefully, and now everybody's starting to catch wind. So hopefully this upcoming week is going to be better. And hopefully I make $900 nights every motherfucking day. Okay. But thanks for counting my tips with me. Let's go get this money, y'all.
Did y'all know that servers, waiters and waitresses, whatever, they only get the tip, bro? They only get the tip. I don't know if this is like common knowledge, but it's not minimum wage and tip, bro. Unless it's like kind of like a high class restaurant, but like Olive Garden, them niggas is only getting the tip. And unfortunately, it should not depend on you to pay them for working. But it's literally that. It's literally that. It's literally you giving them $2 and they just served you for an hour. They're only getting $2, bro. I know. And when I found this out, I was like, no way. Because when I was a kid, they used to think that like servers used to be balling. But I was also like 6 years old. But even now, when I found that out, I was like, what? Yeah. But that's the truth, guys. Because I felt like people didn't know that. And I feel like that's why people don't tip, because they don't know that they only get the tip. But yeah, they only get the tip. Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you did know that, and you still didn't tip them, I hope that when you put on the shower tonight, piss just comes out. Just, yeah.
Do you have to tip? A big question, right? Well, it depends on if you have a great time there, right? If you had a bad time at the place you were at, well, I'm pretty sure you're not leaving nothing.
I was talking to our waitress the other night, and she was telling me that it is more common for people to tip $1 than it is for them to tip 20%. I'm going to say that one more time. A waitress around Christmas time said it is more common for people to only tip $1 than they are going to tip 20% on their bill. I know times are tough right now. I know that there is a lot going on, and sometimes it's cheaper to eat out than it is for you to cook at home. I get that. But to go out to eat and to not tip a waitress whose income requires them to make tips, it's disheartening, especially around the holidays. So if you're one of those people that does tip the way you're supposed to, the way we've all been taught to here in America, we tip our waitresses and waiters. If you do that, I implore you, please maybe tip a little bit more, because it sounds like this is not the norm. It breaks my heart for people in the service industry, and we need them. We need people to be waiters and waitresses for multiple reasons. So we need to take care of them, and that is the way our culture is. In America, we tip. That's what we do. So until that changes, that's what we need to keep doing.
My manager was telling me the story last night about how this one server at another restaurant in Miami, he got tipped $100,000. $100K. Went to the some rich guy that regularly tips out several thousands of dollars. And in Miami, anything is possible. Like, I've gotten tipped, $2,000, $3,000, $3,000 before. Like, I've gotten tipped pretty big, but $100K, that's the type of delusional manifestations that I need to be thinking of. And you should too, literally. Like, nothing is too big of a dream. Like, I fully, because it's all realistic. It's all within the realm of reality. Like, that happened to someone. Why not me? Why can't I get that? And it's also like, okay, maybe I don't get 100K, but maybe I get 10K or something like that. Anything is possible and anything can happen, especially to me. So, I'm claiming it. 2023, someone's gonna give me a 10K tip. 10K plus tip. That's what I'm manifesting. And, you know, I will check back. I'll stitch back with this. And I'll stitch back the highest tip I got from the year.
We are really at the point where waiters and waitresses are actually starting to demand being tipped for their waiting service. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this person was at an airport when they decided to go into a restaurant at the airport, and they ended up ordering a few drinks. Eventually, this person ended up finishing their drinks, and the waiter ended up handing them their bill. And as you can see right here, the waiter decided to circle the suggested gratuity words, put a smiley face, and then also decided to scribble out the 10 and 15% options for the tip, and then only circled the 20% option, pretty much demanding that this person leaves a 20% tip. Now, I don't know about all of you, but usually when I go out to a restaurant, I tip every single time, unless the waiter or waitress is just like extremely rude and just, ruin my entire day. Then I won't leave a tip, but this waiter right here is literally pretty much demanding this person to leave a 20% tip. To be honest, if I was in this situation and my waiter or waitress did this to me, I just would not want to leave a tip anymore, especially not a 20% tip. I still probably would. I have no idea if this person still eventually ended up leaving them a tip, but I'm just really curious to know your thoughts about all this.
Look, at the end of the day, it's up to you if you want to leave a tip or not. But I do know that most servers live off tips. So yay, thank you for watching until next time.